Guys, I kind of like the I like the FNAF movie. No, it's not perfect. It's not even really that good. But do I still like it? Yeah, I kind of do. The film is a mess. There's no denying that. There's a lot that does not work. It doesn't really function as a horror movie. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was pretty bad. I'm not the biggest Fred head. I'm not that invested in the FNAF lore. But for some reason, the longer I sat with this, the more I got attached to it. It's kind of cute, you know? It feels sort of genuine. And in a day and age where we have movies like Freelance or Expenfordables, it's nice to know that there's actually a team of people out there who somewhat care about making a good movie. Now, is this a good movie? Not really, but you can tell that they tried, and that's what matters. I went into this prepared for the worst movie ever, and I left pleasantly surprised. I was fully expecting for them to lean into the goofy 50 Nights at Fredricks Pizza and do whatever. You know, kicking any sense of a story to the wayside and leaning on the fan service without really providing a narrative. And with a series like FNAF, where the gameplay is... it'd be pretty easy to throw something together, you know, get a Freddy jump scare on loop for 2 hours and call it a day. But that's not what happened. They wanted this to be good. They cared about every little detail, from the score to the animatronics. I mean, they built the entire set. The whole pizzeria is practical. And saying that nowadays is almost refreshing when every other movie's backdrop has been reduced to a green screen. And they also brought in the creator of the game to oversee everything. I mean, Matt Pat's in the movie. They wanted this to succeed. And it's nice to feel that passion for a franchise again. And does it really matter that the critics don't love this? No, it doesn't. This was a movie made for the fans, and the fact that the film was able to get this sense of real passion across to the audience is all that matters. This isn't a monumental movie. This isn't changing anything. It's not the best thing ever made, but it is just incredibly solid. This is a love letter to the fans. And the fact that I was able to feel that enthusiasm, that authenticity from the movie is special. Now, with all that being said, the movie is not perfect. The problems have nothing to do with how the film looks or how it was shot. The issues are more with the script. I would go as far as to say the first half of the film is flawless. It's very well done. There's this concise stream of new information. We're getting new characters, new story beats. There's a good pace to it. The tone is very serious. The story is clearly building, and then all of a sudden, it stops. The tone, the pacing, it all drops, and from this point on is where all the problems really begin. Once Abby starts playing with the animatronics is where the tone goes from, oh no, creepy ghost children, to, oh okay, this is PG-13. The animatronics lose that sense of mystery. They're not scary anymore, they're just weird. And yes, I get that they are just children, but you can still have the animatronics be creepy and also act like kids. The problem is all that pre-existing tension is thrown away once we get Bonnie falling over and giving us the like, what is that? And it doesn't help how quickly they gloss over the fact that these animatronics are really the ghosts of children. I thought that was a joke. Mike asks Abby, are these guys the ghosts of children? And then she goes, yeah, how else would it work? It's like, oh, okay, ghosts are real. Okay, we've accepted that. It makes sense. Let's move on. Like, what? These are ghosts. If this was me, if I was Mike, I would take a step back, quit my job, and tell somebody that ghosts are possessing robots. It sort of devalues a pretty important plot point. This is a huge thing, and with how quickly they move past it, it feels like the movie expects the audience to already know this coming in. Once again, a movie made for the fans. And it doesn't help how messy the timeline really is. Like, Mike is 30, Abby is 10, and the family lost Garrett 8 years before Abby was ever born. How does she know anything about Garrett? And on top of that, how does she know about the ghosts of the children before they ever go to Frederick's Pizzeria? Mike only sees the ghost children after he goes to the pizza place, but Abby has already met them before and is close with them and draws them with Garrett. I thought the whole thing was that the animatronics were tied to the pizzeria, that they could not leave. And is the Sans Freddy, is he just free to go wherever? So are the FNAF ghosts seeking Abby out beforehand? But why her? Do they know about Garrett and wanted to seek out his younger sister that wasn't even born yet when he was abducted to try and lure her to the FNAF place to make her an animatronic? The problem with this is that it's too much of a coincidence. It's not airtight. They kind of just throw all of this at you and rely on you just accepting it all without really thinking about it. This is the only way the film can function, with this layer of ambiguity that sort of connects the general dots if you don't look at it too closely. But if you do, the film sort of doesn't really work anymore. And the ending feels a little too Disney XD. I get that they're children, but a single picture changes everything? Like, what? So can William then outpicture Abby? Like, can he draw another picture? Be like, actually, no, she's lying. She's the one that killed you guys. Kill her instead. It just feels too much of a cop-out. And yes, I understand they were building this up. Oh, kids love pictures. We're going to use the picture line at the end. But for me, a movie has to be solid. Every single plot point has to be the best step forward. And using a picture to defeat the bad guy just doesn't sit right with me. There were definitely better ways to conclude a movie like this. But honestly, I don't really care. I like the FNAF movie. It's solid. I'm not scared to say that. Does a critic's Rotten Tomatoes score really matter? No. It doesn't. What does matter is that I felt something with this. Something that I don't really feel with a lot of adaptations or movies in general. And after a second and third rewatch, I somehow found even more to like about this. There are so many little things that you pick up on. Like Mike beating up the guy at the beginning was because of his trauma with his little brother. You don't really notice that on your first watch because the movie is constantly moving forward and you don't really have the time to go back and make that connection until the movie's over or you see it again. Like that scene originally in my mind didn't hold much value. I kind of forgot it happened, but on rewatch, this is when things clicked, and the film is littered with this sort of stuff. I like that this movie is kind of stupid. I like how some things are goofy and don't really work, because it feels human. I'm not gonna give this a number score, there's no point. The FNAF movie is good. You should go see the FNAF, if you haven't already. Why are you watching this video if you haven't seen the FNAF movie? You go, it's good. Go watch it, again, because it's really good.